We're getting to the end of the year. It's time to rank all 7 of the DC and Marvel films from worst to best. Hey everybody, my name's Justin here. I try to watch everything that hits theaters and on streaming services. If you guys are like me, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below for more up and coming content. Today I'll be ranking all 7 of the theatrical releases of the DC and Marvel films, all the way from, I think it was Batman was the first one, all the way up to the most recent one, Black Adam. And I just saw this film for the first time, so this is my first time I'm talking about the film. Let me know in the comment section down below, what is your favorite DC and Marvel film? I will not be including the straight to VOD films. All of those DC films, those animated ones, will not be included in here, but I will be including the DC League of Super Pets because I saw that in theaters. Coming in last place is Morbius. This has turned into a movie where people just laugh at it, and because it is absolutely bad. I didn't think it would be as horrible as people said it was. I didn't see it in theaters. I saw it over the summer, and I completely agree with everybody that this is horrible. And it's turned into one of those films that it's like the memes constantly, and you just say, oh, how it's so amazing. It needs to be like the best picture. No. It is trash. Jared Leto is horrible in here. The story is all over the place. It feels like Spider-Man 3 at times when you have that scene with Matt Smith. It's so completely off. The story for Morbius, Jared Leto's character, is so generic. There's no development for this character. Visually, it's all right. It's really dark at times, and some of the CGI and the action scenes just feel weak. There's a lot of things in here that you could argue is one of the worst Marvel films in a long time. It's not part of the MCU, standalone film connected to the Spider-Man universe from Sony, but I was not impressed with this film. The acting is bad. The story is generic. It is boring. The tone is completely off. It is a film that I do not want to watch again. Coming in 6th place is Black Adam. I enjoyed Black Adam. I would say from now 6 and on, these are films that I do enjoy. Black Adam's story was weak. It was a generic, bland story, and there was a lot of build up for this character. Like 40 minutes in, I felt like I wasn't getting to like the meat of the story. But I do love the action in here. It was so cool to see Dwayne Johnson as Black Adam. Those scenes rocked.
Nice.
And then I love the Justice Society of America. They felt like an established group, and I honestly wanted to see more of them. They felt like a tight-knit group, and I loved seeing their scenes and how they interacted with Black Adam. That chemistry, that conflict that they had. He wanted to protect people, but if anybody got in his way, he would kill them. And the Justice Society of America didn't believe in that. So you have that conflict in here. The villain, Sabak, is weak in here. The human story, I don't find to be that interesting. I'm more focused on the conflict between Black Adam and the Justice Society of America. That is where the film works. The visuals are great. The humor is really out of place. When they implement it, I just don't laugh, and I could tell that they think that they're very funny, but it just does not work. But Black Adam is a cheesy good time. The story is weak, but the characters and action scenes are there. Coming in 5th place is DC League of Super Pets. I didn't think I would love this as much as I did. I thought it was absolutely hilarious. Kate McKinnon is perfect in here. Dwayne Johnson and Kevin Hart have that great chemistry that they have in previous films. It's translated nicely over here. I love all the references to DC superheroes like Batman and Superman and Wonder Woman, and we have Lex Luthor in here. I think it's a nice way to bring the smaller stories of these pets to the big screen by also having the superheroes that we know and love within the film. The animation is great. The humor is there. It's a quickly paced film. A lot of zany animals with great voice performances. I found myself constantly laughing in this film while also appreciating the superheroes and the super pets and the villain story as well. It's generic, it's cliche, but still a lot of fun. Coming in fourth place is Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. I thought this film was pretty good. I thought that Sam Raimi added his flair to it, kind of adding in that horror aspect to it with Wanda and all the different universes that we see in here. I like Wanda's story in here, her going from where we saw her in WandaVision and her connection to her children, and how the story plays out in here and how dramatic and personal it is for her. I thought the use of the multiverse was really weak in here. John Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic was awesome to see, but there's just a lot of times where they just don't explore it. They're more focused on that storyline between Wanda and Doctor Strange. Well, I think it's a very important story to tell in the MCU. I wanted to see more of that title and living up to it. But Sam Raimi's flair and direction is good in here. The performances are great. It's stunning. The visuals, I love all of the action scenes and the horror moments within here. But for a story with Doctor Strange and Wanda, I think it could have done a little more. I thought it could have been a little crazier, and I think that it would have matched the title. But nonetheless, I do think it's a lot of fun and a film that is going to move the MCU forward. Coming in third place is Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. The most recent MCU film was emotional, and Kevin Feige and Ryan Coogler had a lot to deal with the loss of Chadwick Boseman, and I thought they handled it very well while paying tribute to Chadwick Boseman and the Black Panther, but also moving the story forward. Namor is a great addition to the MCU, really challenging people in Wakanda. And there are some times where the story drags, more so in the middle half of the film, but the emotional beat to it works and the action is there. And watching other characters step up to protect Wakanda and how they are dealing with the loss of T'Challa within the film, it has a story that feels very personal. It's emotional to watch, but it has that great action. But this film was amazing. I liked the first Black Panther film more, but this one still was very good. Coming in second place is Thor: Love and Thunder. This was a hilarious film. Not as good as Ragnarok, but I like that it's building off of Endgame, and with the moments with Thor and him taking a step back and also working with the Guardians. Even though they were brief, I still like them in here. But Gore the God Butcher was menacing in here. I thought his story was kind of weak, but I love Christian Bale's performance in here. Very sinister and worked within here. Natalie Portman returning to the MCU was perfect. Her story was emotional and dealing with loss and love and death and all of that. And I think they explored that relationship well and how that kind of relationship fell apart as well. Russell Crowe was a little bit off in here, but I still liked his character. The visuals are good, the action scenes, the score, it's way over the top. Taika Waititi's humor is definitely in here. I think you have to really appreciate Taika Waititi's style of humor to really appreciate Love and Thunder, because I know a lot of people do not like this film. It's not as good as Ragnarok or some other Waititi films, but still a nice addition in the Thor universe and the MCU. But coming in first place is The Batman. This was a clear pick. Currently, it's my favorite film of the year. Robert Pattinson is so good in here as Bruce Wayne, really juggling the role of Batman and Bruce Wayne and the differences between the two. There is some intense action scenes. Paul Dano is terrifying as the Riddler. Colin Farrell is perfect as the Penguin. I love all of the characters in here and how it has that detective feel. You are really interested in the case in here and watching the story grow. Everything feels like it's important to the next scene, and there's that development, that build up for Paul Dano's Riddler, and you feel that he has such a control without actually seeing him for some majority of the film, and that conflict, that back and forth that they have between each other, the Riddler and Batman, is so good. The dialogue is tense, it's gripping, it's sharp. This is one of the best superhero films I have ever seen. I absolutely love the Batman. I can't wait for Matt Reeves' second take on the Batman. I love his direction. It was dark, it was gritty, it was action-packed. Everything you would want from a Batman film. And after the Batman appearances with Ben Affleck, we get something more grounded, more realistic, and in tone with some of the detective stories for the Batman. I can't wait for another one. I absolutely love this film. It's so good. It's long, but still enjoyable. So there you guys have it, all 7 DC and Marvel films released in theaters ranked. How would you rank them? Let me know in the comment section down below, and stay tuned for more up and coming content like this. My name is Just Watches Movies, and you guys stay classy, YouTube.